I'm back, and so's he. He's bought me a little Bogner pedal. Bogner, what a funny name. Yeah, this one's called a Bogner Wessex. It's an overdrive pedal, and it says here Rupert Neve designs transformer. And the transformer is the bit that makes everything sound better, so they say. Well, Rupert Neve says so. He must have some clue. He's a bit of genius. Well, my friend here, he said, you want one of these Wessex pedals? It's got a huge sound, and it makes me fill the stage, even though he's this little. So I listened to him, didn't I? I'm going to throw him away now, and let's get down to the pedal, yeah? It's all good. Now, I've got the book out, because I have to. And basically, this pedal is one of a series of pedals that's been sort of partnered by Rupert Neve and Mr. Bogner. I think his name Reinhold, Reinhardt, one of them, doesn't really matter, or Bogner. So they've got together, and you can see in there, maybe, there's a little tiny transformer, which Mr. Neve is famous for. And there's a number of pedals. This one's called, in here, it's called the Harlow. Then we've got the Wessex, which is under review here. And then we've got another one, which is called the Burnley, for some obscure reason. Yeah, there's the Burnley. All pretty similar, but all slightly different toned. Which I guess is where that transformer comes in. Yeah. What more do you want? I'm just going to read this bit to you because I don't like to memorise all this stuff. It just fills your head with rubbish. What it says about this Wessex is this: delivering classic low gain growl to rich modern scorch. The Bogner Overdrive pedal gets its extraordinary dimensional range from a custom transformer designed by legendary audio pioneer Rupert Neve. Whether you want to give your clean amp some muscle or juice up your vintage amp's gain, flick the tone altering enhanced neutral switch to find your own dirty Nirvana. Nirvana will be in there too. Yeah! Anyway, it's all there. It's got a normal or extended position, which increases the tone with a nice extended bass and sweet high. You will hear a jump in the level. I'll bet you will. Yeah. So that's basically what you're getting for your money. Now, I bought this one. Funny enough, I bought it second hand. List price on this damn thing. Well, it wasn't list price. It was the price on the street was, I think, 185 US dollars. This one just seems a little bit harder to click than normal, but it does work. And I got this one for about, I think I got it for $99 or $100 or something like that. So it's a fair old saving. The only thing is, this case isn't so great. It's like a matte finish aluminium, and it's been scuffed already by whoever had it. They must have had it for not long and got rid. Well, as always, what I want to do is to open the back of this and take a quick look inside. Now, I have been inside here before. There's not a lot to look at, but you will see the quality. So that's the thing we're going to do. I'm going to whip the screws off, zoom in close, let you have a look at the inside and outside of this this pedal. Give you a good idea of the range of them, you know, regarding quality. Yeah, so I'm going to go and do that. Hold on. Well, here we are inside the Bogner Rupert Neve Wessex Overdrive pedal. And the thing that stands out, you know, if you were to put this plate in place, you can see that the transformer actually sticks through the bottom of the plate. It's quite a nice design, although it doesn't change anything. It doesn't make it sound better, for sure. So you've got the top bit that's been well hidden by Bogner. You've got the switch at the bottom, you've got your battery at the bottom. You've got it in and out. Nice looking board, you can tell it's a pretty decent made board. And you've got this transformer from Rupert Neve. There it is. You'll be paying for that, no doubt. Well, it's $185. You are paying for it. You've also got a bit of a voltage input and output there on the side. And that's it. There's not really much to talk about. I can't take this off and show you because it doesn't want to let me. Couldn't be bothered anyway. So I'm going to put the back on, and then we'll have a quick look at the back and a quick look at the front, and then go back up top. Hold on. Okay, quick look at the back with the back screwed on. Like I said, you see the Rupert Neve transformer sticking out the back. Nice design really, I guess. 4 screws hold it in place, got some rubber feet. It says here, built in Los Angeles, California, using worldwide premium parts, whatever that means. It means Chinese parts. Now personally I don't think that makes any real difference because that's where most of the parts come from these days. But they're built and assembled in Los Angeles, and that's the important bit. Okay, moving on, you've got a CE approval, which is at least 5mm across, which is what it should be. It's stamped on the product as it should be. It's got a Rush compliant thing there, and you can power it to 9 volts DC. What more do you want? I mean, that's it. That's the way all the rest should be. Now, if the truth's known, there isn't really much to do on a an overdrive pedal. You've got a level, you've got a gain, you've got a treble and a bass. You've got a little light here that comes on, and the harder you hit the guitar, the brighter it goes, and that's sort of rubbish. And you've got an on and off here. You've got an in that side and out that side, and probably some power somewhere down here. Yeah, highly likely. Signed by Rupert Neve. Not really, but you know, that's what they like to say. They push Rupert Neve's transformer here as well. So, well, let's hope it sounds as good as they say. Lastly, you've got this normal or extended mode, and the extended modes will increase the bass and top end and this sweetness they talk about. Yeah, I don't know about that, but we'll see, won't we? That's it. There's not much else to talk about except that it does get sort of scratched pretty easy. Things like that. This isn't a very old pedal. You can tell it's still got the original battery in it, and there you go. Let me go back. So there is the inside and outside of the Bogner Wessex pedal. Of course we're going to play it. I've already played it before. I'm like that. I fancied having a go before you did, or before you heard it. It's not bad. It's not a bad pedal. $185 or $189 in the USA. And I got this, like I said, for about 100-ish. So there's a bit of a saving there. And would I pay $189 for it or $185? No, I wouldn't. I just wouldn't pay it. It's not worth the money. No matter what Mr. Bogner or Mr. Neve says, it's not worth the money. It's just it's an overdrive pedal. You'll get to hear it. I'll do a few different styles and that, or tones. Let me rephrase that. Not so much styles. So what would I rate it as? Well, that's a good point. I think these guys are marketing this product by, oh, Rupert Neve's he's touched it. It must be gold. It's not gold. It's not bad, but it's not gold. It's not Rupert Neve and Bogner gold. You know, this is the tone. No. What it is, it's an overdrive pedal that says Wessex on the side, and it's got a Rupert Neve transformer in there, and how much that changes things. You know, some of these engineers hear things that other people don't, for some reason. I've never really heard that much difference with a lot of that stuff. It sounds good or it sounds bad, but I don't know. I'm not so sure of the transformers alone are the answer. I think there's a lot more to it than just a transformer. So I'd rate this thing at about a 7, really. I'm not going to give it more than 7 because when all's said and done, it's an overdrive pedal. It's not as good as an OCD pedal, which has been around for ages, and they've sold hundreds of thousands of those. They haven't sold hundreds of thousands of this thing, I'll guarantee that. So there clearly must be a difference. And the OCD pedal is made by Fulltone, isn't it? So there you go. If you fancy a go one of these, you know, I'd try it before you buy it, if you understand what I'm saying. I certainly wouldn't just buy one. So we're going to go out there and listen to it, and you can make up your own mind from what you hear. I will be reviewing it on my website, which is here, www.TonyMckenzie.com. I'll have some other pictures and things in there and talk about it maybe in a different way. But overall, I don't think the review is going to be that much different than what you've seen in the video. So there's not much left to do now, except to go that way and go and listen to it. So until next time, rock and roll, and thanks for watching. I'm back. Well, what do you expect? It's my video. What have I got today? Well, you've already seen what I've got today, really, I guess, on the earlier video. Here it is. It's one of those Bogner things. It says Rupert Neve transformer. It's a little thing about this big inside. You've seen it. Yeah. Is this thing really worth the money of what they cost for a Bogner pedal? That's Bogner. Bogner. He's a bit of a funny guy, that Bogner guy. He has a few quirks like I've seen in the amps. I wonder if this has got the same sort of thing. Well, it's got a level and a gain, a treble and a bass, and on and off. It doesn't actually work very well. It's really not very good. You have to really press that. Yeah, so what am I going to do with it? Well, I'm going to plug it into this one, which is my Marshall JTM45 that I built. In fact, it's not quite Marshall, but it's as near as Marshall as you'll ever get unless you go buy one of their compatibles, I guess. And their compatible JTM45s aren't as good as this JTM45 because this one's made like the original. And those new ones have been tweaked around a bit to meet the legislation and the rest. Oh, look, a microphone. The legislation and the rest. So this one sounds like the real one through the old cab down there, which is the vintage cab, you know, the hand-wired. So maybe it's two reviews in one. It's a review of that. Well, it's not a review of that, no. You'll be able to hear that. It's a review of this thing, and I bought it second-hand, like I've already said. Am I convinced about it? Well, man, that's tough. We'll see. So let me go and plug her in and just listen to the overall sound with it sort of midway with everything, and then we'll go from there. Oh, we've got an E and an N as well we can play with. How exciting. Hold on. Well, I guess you might want to hear a bit without the pedal. Yeah, most people haven't seen this one. I have it hidden away over this side of the studio where nobody goes. Well, except Jimmy up there. Anyway, here's the sort of sounds. It's a real beautiful sound, actually. As you crank it, you get into a distorted area, but it isn't distorted as you know it, if you know what I mean. It's a JTM45 distortion. I'm not going to turn it up too loud because it'll blow the place apart. But so that's a reference tone right there. It's pristine if you think about it. And it's very clean and clear. Works very well, just trust me. In fact, on the new CD I'd made, the Gravity Waves track went through this and through an Eventide and nothing else. That was just absolutely it. So that's what now you know. So what am I going to do now? I'm going to zoom down onto the pedal. I'm going to leave the settings basically as they are. I've got middle on about 6.5, treble on 2, presence on 2, bass on 6, and I've got this sort of balance going on here between these two, which sort of fattens it up a little bit. Because these tend to be a bit toppy, these amps, otherwise. Well, just like a Plexi, really. The Plexi's the one after this one. Okay, well, we're ready to go. Let's keep the level back and the gain back. I'll keep the treble and bass in the middle. If I can turn the thing on, which is very difficult on this one. Okay, it's on. Now the first thing I'm going to do is change this E and N so we can check what that does. That's before. Here we go, before. Oh well, maybe it's just to look good. Leave it on E. We'll bring the level up. We'll bring the gain up. Just going to back the amp down a bit. Okay, I'll back the amp down a bit. We flip this. It's not a bad sound actually, but I guess if you drove it too much, it'd be a bit much really. You get some nice tones out of it, but I think the truth is we get some nice tones out of the Marshall anyway. Okay, well, let's bring the drive up a bit more. Ready? Like I said, these amps are very toppy. So we back the gain off again. Let's drop it to about there. So what do we get this time? Well, I'm back. There is no doubt about it that the Wessex pedal from Bogner does add quite a nice charm to it really. A different tone than what you'd expect to get out of most of the amplifiers in here. Having said that, this amp is, for this type of sound, it's awesome. This does enhance it a little bit without you having to crank. And I think that's an important aspect, you know. Really, to get anything out of this, you've either got to crank it all the way, which is about 30 watts. It's still pretty loud, just trust me on this. Or you've got to put one of them attenuator things on, or you've got to put one of these other pedals on that's kicking around. You know them, TS808s, or any of the sort of drive pedals. There's thousands of them out there, isn't there? OCDs and so on and so forth. Well, this pedal actually adds a tone to this amp that's sort of already there, but it enhances it a little bit at lower volume. So that's really good. And, you know, I'm just looking at where we had that set on the last bit. I was at about 11 o'clock on the gain, 12 o'clock on all the other three, and I was on the end setting of the switch, which the E setting's more aggressive, it seems, or more drive, and the end setting's just about right. So these settings I used, really, I don't know if you can see that. Maybe not, it goes out of focus too easy on this camera. But yeah, overall, not bad. I think it's a bit expensive for what it is. But Rupert there will be getting his cut, won't he? Having said that, it's a pretty good pedal, or this one isn't, and they generally are. This one here, it's really difficult to press, so remember that and check yours to see if yours is as faulty as this one is. I bought it second hand, but I wouldn't expect a pedal of this calibre to be failing at this sort of rate. So it's going to get a lower score. I've probably already scored it. After using it out here for a while, what would I score it at now? Well, I'd probably give it... actually, using it with this amp, I'd give it about a 7. If that switch was good, which it isn't, this would be about a 9. But under the circumstances... Get out of here. It's gone. It's down there on the floor. I will use it, of course, but not every day. It's one of those, it's like this amp. You don't use these, or I don't use these for my style of music every day. Nice amp though, eh? Well, I thought I'd show you that one, guys. I don't think I've ever shown you inside, which I might do at some stage. So think of this as a sort of mini dual review. Great sounding amp. Until next time. Get out of here. Oh, and one last thing. Gravity waves. I've talked about it a few times, off and on. Yeah, that's out at the end of the month, and it'll be on the iTunes and all the rest of it, or CD Baby, or probably in your record store if you go and ask them. But will they stock it as default? Probably not. Who's that Mckenzie guy? Who's he? But listen, it's cost us a fortune to make it. I've been through a pile of aggravation to make that CD arrive on the internet in the way that it should. And what I'm going to do in an up-and-coming review is I'm going to take you through every single step and every single problem that I had. Bear in mind, I've published CDs before, more than once. And I'm going to actually run you through every single last problem and what it cost you. And I'll tell you now, if you're in England, it's a bigger problem. Well, that's to come. All very interesting stuff. It opened my eyes from how they used to be published and produced and all the rest. I've done a couple before, but this one took some doing. And also the tools that I used in the studio over there absolutely had to be upgraded and all that stuff. And but the difference is incredible. So watch out for that coming soon on TonyMckenzie.com and on youtube.com/TonyMckenzie.com. It's all interesting stuff, and I don't think there's that many people that would show you all of the problems that you will get. So you budding guitarists or musicians or whatever you are, it doesn't matter whether you sing or you keyboard or you're in a band or whatever, I'm going to take you through all of the aggro and tell you what it costs you. Till next time.
Thank you.